ESPN Sport Legends presents Zina Garrison. More than a quarter of a century after Althea Gibson crossed the colour line in women's professional tennis, Zina Garrison followed in her footsteps. Garrison won 14 singles titles in 15 years, but more importantly, made contributions that helped players like the Williams sisters, who made their own mark on the game.
She didn't have a lot coming up, and she had to overcome often being shunned, being the victim of racism.
It didn't matter that I was one of the top juniors in the world. I still wasn't able to play at certain places.
Zina was thought of as being the, since Althea Gibson, the first African-American female player that was really going to do something.
Zina Garrison did make it easier for Venus and Serena Williams. She showed people that, hey, I can come from Houston, Texas, I can be black, and I can challenge for major titles.
Tiki Barber and the Giants will continue their drive to the playoffs against the Raiders on New Year's Eve on ESPN to kick off an NFL double coverage weekend at 8 Eastern. Then on Sunday, Bill Parcells' Cowboys fight for a playoff spot when they host the Rams. That's on Sunday Night Football at 8:30 Eastern. Hope you'll join us from Big D for that one.
For a New Year's D. Oops.
And they may want to take that one out of the playbook. They're trying to do anything they can to get the ball to Mark Clayton.
He may be a rookie, but he's not stupid.
Yeah.
Oh, look at Jonathan Ogden, and you know.
Boy, this whole offensive line is beaten up.
Yeah, you would be through 15 weeks of a season. As much pounding as these guys take.
Jonathan Ogden, he's trying to block here, and he knows there's, well, he sees Clayton's in trouble, so he comes back to the outside.
Looks like Clayton got him.
Bowler under pressure, flushed out of the pocket and throws out in the flat, short.
Oh, no.
And now Mason is hurt.
Don't boo him now. That young man has had a pretty good night. He throws a bad pass and they boo him.
Tempers are short.
Yeah. All right, here comes Mason inside. Now he gets whacked. Ooh, man, he got hit right in the mouth by Sam Coward.
Well, he stumbled against his own man, ran right into Coward. Now it's 3rd and 13. Bowler underneath Taylor.
Bettis with those short little choppy steps. They're both big guys, very nifty with their feet.
Except not only is he nifty, he can fly. Bowler unloads. Had Clayton by a half a step and missed him. Darren Sharper.
I think Darren Sharper grabbed him. I think Darren Sharper put a little bit of a hand on him when he was going by. He's gone up the field. You can't quite tell on that shot.
Well, the crowd got another shot on the Jumbotron here and really reacted to it.
See, I think he grabs his, matter of fact, I know he grabs his shirt. This is a bad job of officiating right here.
And look at Brian Billick. He is just livid that that wasn't called. Blitz coming. Bowler is drilled, and the pass nearly intercepted Devontae Edwards. And Bowler, this may be roughing the passer. And it is.
Roughing the passer. Over the helmet. 15 yards. Automatic first down.
I'll tell you what Sharper did. First of all, he did grab Pete going by. But then after he really was beaten on the play. And then Sharper goes, well, don't worry about it. I had him covered, which you didn't. Then you come back and make another play where you hit the quarterback.
Both times that the Minnesota Vikings have tried to blitz the quarterback. One, they gave up a touchdown.
Yep.
On this one now, they give up a roughing penalty and an automatic first down. And Brian Billick has every right to be livid, absolutely livid, over the missed call by the back judge.
Especially when it's right in the middle of the field with nobody else out there.
Two guys there, a defender and an offender.
Well, flag down.
They're going to whistle this play dead as Corey Chavis wraps up Jamal Lewis.
Ball start, 81 offense. 5 yards, first down.
That's DeVard Darling.
Top right of your frame. Watch number 42 grab. Look at him on the jersey. Right there. You can see him. Look at him holding on to his shirt. That's what everybody was so livid about. And rightfully so, I think.
How do you not see that?
Pro bowlers sometimes get away with it, I guess.
No.
1st and 15, a lot of long yardage situations in this drive. Mason with the short grab, and Mason a couple of weeks ago, as Sam Cowart made the tackle, said he felt like a glorified running back because all he was catching was 5- and 6-yard passes.
You know, the one thing, you brought this point up earlier in the game, Joe, about the Minnesota Vikings defense. They're going to let you get the short one, and then they close. So if that's the case, you've got to get that ball in that intermediate area, anywhere between 10 and 12 yards.
And I think, and Todd Heap has been absent here in this quarter quite a bit. You got to find him again.
2nd and 13. Bowler throws incomplete. They said it hit the ground. And Mason is really upset. He wants his coach to challenge. And Brian Billick says no, and then Mason is upset with Billick.
See, you know what? It's interesting. These challenges that are available to coaches, I think the first thing that I would say to a player is, look, let me be the judge, okay? That ball's on the ground. Don't go running to the coach. Go catch the football and do your job. I'll coach and handle the challenge.
Here comes the ball bouncing off the ground, and Brian Billick was standing right there. He was even with the catch. He had a perfect angle to see it.
Bowler, big 3rd down here. This one's complete, and it's enough for a first down. Mason made that catch before he was drilled by Fred Smoot.
You know what's so impressive? And this is Jim Fossil as an offensive coordinator. He came back with the same exact route. It was the same ball that Kyle Bowler threw low, and this time he got it upright. And Derek Mason does the same thing. Todd Heap's inside. Mason pushes it off, makes the play. Freddie Smoot can't make the tackle. Makes it late.
This has been a tremendously impressive drive, particularly for Kyle Bowler, because he has had himself in a situation where he's 2nd and 12, 3rd and 14, and he's made the plays.
And Jim Fossil, their offensive coordinator, got a lot of criticism for the way they played early in the year, but he didn't really have a healthy quarterback. He didn't have a healthy running back. He didn't have a healthy wide receiver.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter here in Baltimore. The Vikings by 3 over the Ravens.
I'm in.
It's Christmas for at least another hour, and the Vikings want an extra gift. They win, they stay alive. If they lose, they have to say goodbye to their playoff hopes. Right now, they are up by 3 over the Baltimore Ravens, who have the ball and are driving.
Well, they were thoroughly convinced when they came into this ball game that if they stop Jamal Lewis from running the ball, which they have done so far in 3 quarters, that there's no way that Kyle Boller can beat them. Well, guess what, folks? Kyle Boller's not only playing for his life, he's playing for a job for next year.
Jonathan Ogden was slow to get up. He's having his knee taped. They have already lost Edwin Mulatalo to an injury, and they had injuries along the offensive line before that. So a patchwork job up front for the Ravens.
Well, how about these Ravens? 3rd and 12, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 14, and they picked them all up.
Sooner or later, that catches up to you, though. You can't go 3rd and a lot too often.
Well, they have 2nd and a lot.
2nd and 8 right here. Vikings show blitz. Boller sees it and changes the play.
Come Sharper.
Blitz coming. Boller underneath, and it's incomplete to Clayton. Good coverage by Antoine Winfield.
Chester Taylor saw Sharper coming on a blitz, and Chester Taylor just stepped up and did it. Number 29, look at this. Here comes, there's Sharper up in the air. He lets him go up in the air, and he just hit him right in the stomach.
Here's another big, long 3rd down.
This is where they catch us up with you?
This is a little bit of that no man's land. Is it 4-down territory? Do you try the extra long field goal?
8 out of 11 on 3rd down. Great success for them. Boller. Mason. Touchdown.
Oh, does he run a sweet move on Antoine Winfield. Great blocking. Terrific patience by Kyle Boller. Wonderful route by Derek Mason to sell him on the stop and go.
And Derek Mason with 8 catches for 92 yards. And just going off the last 2 weeks, the evaluation of Kyle Boller has got to be an A.
I'll tell you, I give Jim Fossil an A+ too on the way he's called this game. Every time the Minnesota Vikings have tried to come after Kyle Boller, they have gotten burned. 2 touchdowns and a penalty.
And Boller is 21 out of 30. 3 touchdowns, 248 yards. If you're auditioning, that's not bad.
Bladder control is an issue, and I've mastered that.
You need to be drinking at the right time during the 2-hour session so that on the 15-minute break is when you use the restroom.
There's a huge mass rush to the bathroom.
There's so many people, you're screwed.
I can't even believe they're waiting in a line like that. There aren't very many women who play poker, so I can just casually get up and go to the restroom with no lines.
I'm sorry, I didn't see it.
This year, it's a huge advantage to be a woman because you get right into the bathroom. You don't have to wait.
There's actually things you can take that strengthen everything down there.
If you wear a catheter, or Depends, you're good to go.
I know right when the perfect time to leave is, and I bolt.
There's this secret bathroom that I'm not telling anybody about. That's where I go. For everyone else, wait in line. Good luck.
At least you guys didn't follow me to the bathroom.
ESPN Sunday Night Football, brought to you by Miller. There's good enough, and there's better than it has to be. Miller, good call. Under Armour Performance Apparel. The advantage is undeniable. T-Mobile, get more minutes, more features, more service. And MasterCard. There's some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard.
Vaccaro's opened in 1956. Beautiful Italian pastry shop.
Food.
Joe's gone.
Delicious food.
John's, Waldo's leaving.
It's tough not to like an Italian pastry shop. Corin Robinson for the Minnesota Vikings.
Devontae Edwards is the corner. He's right there. What's going to happen is you're going to see this route by Derek Mason. He comes down and then just takes off and goes. It's a beautiful job. Offensive line blocks, little cell inside. Oh, just beat him bad. He tried to jump up. He was going to jump the route. Derek Mason goes by him. He can't even catch up to him. Yeah, Cowboys' touchdown. Ouch. He just got to figure out how to stay in one piece for a lot of football, and he'll be fine.
Moore bounces it outside, refuses to give up, and he'll still lose a yard.
Edwards decided to put the body slam on him at the end. Bounce around long enough. One of those big guys going to hit you.
Well, and another thing about this defense, too, and they prided themselves in it, they've got great speed on this defense, and if you're going to bounce around and try to get yourself back to the outside, it's not going to happen against these guys because they're all smart enough to stay at home. They might have missed some tackles in this ball game, but they're in the right position to make them.
A lot of time left in this fourth quarter. Pressure coming on Johnson, and down he goes at the 15-yard line. Suggs underneath, and over the top, Kelly Gregg and Kimoyatu.
There was nowhere for Brad Johnson to go with this football. He has absolutely nobody open. The pressure comes up. He's got to hold it a little bit longer than he wants to. Kelly Gregg really is the one that created the problem for him.
Did you see Suggs come around the outside and get Brad Johnson by the foot as he was falling down?
3rd and a mile. Screen to Moore. Breaks a tackle. Mewelde Moore out to the 30, but that will be shy of a first down. They got a lot of it back. Peter Boulware, who used to be the face of this team on defense, getting few opportunities anymore to play. He got in on that stop.
Tommy Polley, again, number 50. Paul, you've talked about it. Number 50 comes up. He takes the shot and just flat misses and gives up another 15 yards of a completion. That's 15 yards of field position that you give up because you come out out of control.
Cluey just got it out of there. And it will be touchdown to 34-yard line. Kick of 34. And Ed Reed nearly made a huge play on special team.
And now another great moment on ESPN. The UEFA Champions League final, the top prize of European club football, has produced some of the most memorable games in history. In 2004, an unlikely pair of teams squared off. High-scoring Monaco and the giant killers Porto took the pitch for 90 minutes of unforgettable football. And in the end, it was Porto, the pride of Portugal, holding the European Cup high for the world to see. A celebration of sports memories from around the globe. Great moments on ESPN.
The IRL IndyCar Series, the top open-wheel racing, thrills rabid racing fans around the world on ESPN. The 2005 season moved into the American Southwest for the Phoenix Indy 200. All the superstar drivers were primed for victory. Reigning champion Tony Kanaan, fellow Brazilian Helio Castro Nieves were the favourites going in. But a good old Texan, two-time champion Sam Hornish Jr. went home with the victory. ESPN, the home of the IRL IndyCar Series.
When a boxer prepares, he's only thinking of success. He's only thinking of destruction. But to conquer, he must obliterate the hopes of his opponent and be the only man standing. Fight Night, only on ESPN. ESPN Friday, an end-of-the-year blowout. Stephon Marbury leads the struggling Knicks into Milwaukee against top draft pick Andrew Bogut and the Bucks. Knicks, Bucks, live Friday, the NBA on ESPN.
Friday night, a couple of great college football bowl games for you. First, South Carolina and Missouri in the Independence Bowl at 3:30 Eastern. Then two top 10 clubs, Miami and LSU, square off in the Peach Bowl. That is a 7:30 start on ESPN. Hope you'll join us for those ball games. And the Ravens take over at their own 33, up 24-20. Lewis may see a bigger dose of the big tailback after this.
Kyle Bowlers followed up one great performance last week with another one tonight. The first one to Todd Heap. Want to try and go after him, but he doesn't give it up, and the Vikings come after him again, and he burns them twice. Once to Clayton, this one to Mason, and absolutely loving it by the coach.
Kyle Bowler may be going from a major question mark to the correct answer here in Baltimore. Out in the flat to Lewis. It's another decisive play by Bowler. He looks downfield, doesn't find his first receiver, and hits the man on a swing.
But did you see Jamal Lewis? As soon as he touched the ball, he was flying. He was going full speed. Watch this when he comes out to the outside, catches the ball. Look, turn. He's already gone. He's already full speed. He's got the first down.
Tell you one other thing, too. That is the toughest throw to make for a quarterback, to lead a running back like that and get him in stride.
He has thrown for a career-high 259 tonight. Back to the ground and Lewis. And the Viking defense has to step up now for them to stay in this ball game. They cannot afford to give up another touchdown. The numbers on Bowler last week, 253. Tonight he has exceeded that. 6 touchdown throws, no picks in 2 weeks.
And when we talked to Sam Cowart, the middle linebacker of the Minnesota Vikings, he basically said, we don't believe, if we stop them from running the football, we do not believe that Kyle Bowler can throw the ball 30 to 40 times and beat us. Well, Kyle Bowler's proven him wrong so far. It's not over yet, but he's proven him wrong.
Bowler down the middle, too high, and it's picked off by Sharper. Darren Sharper, who is on the way to the Pro Bowl, gets his 9th interception, the 45th of his career. That was not a good throw by Bowler, and a big break for the Vikings.
ESPN presents Dutch football. This week, Ajax Amsterdam versus FC Groningen. Ajax are still on the mend, but have gained ground since the season start. They'll face a mid-table Groningen squad. Dutch football, total football. Live on ESPN Tuesday.
Darren Sharper with his 9th pick, giving the Vikings a chance here. They're down by 4. The Minnesota Vikings have not scored a point in the 4th quarter of their last 3 games. They need them now. Blitz coming. Johnson throws underneath, incomplete.
On that last play, Darren Sharper up to your far left-hand corner. What he does is he does an excellent job of reading Kyle Bowler. Sees Bowler, now he's gonna break in behind Clayton. The problem is Mark Clayton really doesn't give Kyle Bowler a clear look. He sort of hesitates and then he accelerates. And it's tough to be able to lead somebody when you're not quite sure where they're going to be.
Ravens show blitz and come with it again. Johnson trying to stay alive. Does. Moreeeee Moore. What a move, and he's got a first down. That was sensational.
Well, I'll tell you what. Terrell Suggs thought he had him, number 55, and Moreeeee Moore. You talk about great presence of where you are. Moreeeee Moore catches the ball. First of all, look at him. Make sure he has a catch. Now he sees Suggs. Whoops. I'll just stop for a second, let you go by, and then I'll pick up the first down. That was just outstanding by the receiver.
These Vikings running backs and wide receivers have done an excellent job running through tackles making defenders overrun them all night.
A young man who has been slowed by injuries all year long. Johnson airs it out. Caught out of bounds.
You wondered when he was going to take a shot down the field.
He did. Troy Williamson in between defenders got the ball but came down out of bounds. This is a game the Vikings must win. They are still alive in the wild card race, although Carolina and Washington both control their own destinies. Dallas and Minnesota are still alive, but they have to win and they need help. Mike Tice faced so much this year, he has kept this club together. Johnson under pressure completes another one to Marcus Robinson. Johnson's had people draped all over him for the last few minutes.
You know what you really like about Johnson, and Kyle Boller is doing a lot of the same thing. But Johnson, what he's doing is he knows what, I can't get him deep. I tried that, so I'll pick up 5. Now if I put it at 5, I've got 2nd and 5 or 3rd and 5 where it's all manageable. That's just avoiding the tackle and making the play.
Another blitz coming. Johnson, Kleinsaucer, or Wiggins rather, and he'll be stopped a yard shy of the first down.
Mike Tice has got himself a decision to make. Do you go for it here on 4th down, or do you punt him back? He's deciding to punt him.
Back to your point earlier in the ball game, they don't have that big back on short yardage to run for it.
They really can't take the chance, and if Kleinsaucer kept his footing or Wiggins kept his footing, he'd have been able to pick up the first down. Now, how does Kyle Boller respond after he's made a mistake? He hadn't made a mistake in 2 games. This is another thing that Brian Billick has to evaluate.
Fair catch made at the 11. Will it be in Kyle Boller's hands or in Jamal Lewis's hands as they're backed up to the 11-yard line?
Can you be a poker player and not have a nickname?
They call me the Quiet Lion.
Kamikaze career, baby.
It's awesome, man. Great grammar.
I love the colorfulness, the different characters it creates.
Crazy who's the professor of poker.
Empty seat.
There's like 27 Steves and 80 Petes.
It's easier to remember a nickname than it is to remember the guy's real name. It's Miami John instead of John Cernuto.
Geography has always been a popular source for finding a nickname.
Amarillo Slim.
Texas Dolly.
Crazy Canuck. The Flying Dutchman.
Give me the money, damn it!
At the poker table, you may find yourself next to a master.
You sit next to a man, the master.
I move furniture, man, for a living. Now I'm sitting next to you.
My nickname is Mike the Mouth.
God shall give it, and God shall take it away.
My nickname is Wookie.
Relive another great moment on ESPN. It's the biggest day of racing in America, the fabled Indianapolis 500. Difficult to capture for the most savvy veteran drivers. More difficult for a young 26-year-old gunning for his first checkered flag at the Brickyard at Indianapolis. But Helio Castroneves defied the odds and won the big race, climbed the catch fence, and the legend of Spider-Man was born. A celebration of sports memories from around the globe. Great moments on ESPN.
24-20 Ravens. Time getting short here in Baltimore. 8:07 to go in the ball game. Kyle Boller, back-to-back games, 3+ touchdown passes, the first time since '89. Go to Susie.
Mike, one thing that Kyle Boller's teammates have been very clear and candid about is his future. Even his go-to guy, closest friend on the team, Todd Heap, believes that Kyle would benefit from not just being handed the starting job next year, but rather competing for it. Heap added that Kyle's problem has all been in his head. There's not a throw he can't make. He's got the athletic ability. He can run. He's smart enough, but it comes down to that mental makeup, and we'll see what he's got right here. This series means a lot to his future as well as the game.
Ravens took a timeout, and that was called from the bench.
Timeout, 7:24 to go from Baltimore.
Relive another great moment on ESPN. It's the biggest day of racing in America, the fabled Indianapolis 500. Difficult to capture for the most savvy veteran drivers. More difficult for a young 26-year-old gunning for his first checkered flag at the Brickyard at Indianapolis. But Helio Castroneves defied the odds and won the big race, climbed the catch fence, and the legend of Spider-Man was born. A celebration of sports memories from around the globe. Great moments on ESPN.
Scott? Did you possibly switch chairs with me?
No, not me.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Good luck finding your chair, LeBron.
Okay. Okay.
$7:24 to go in the game. The Ravens over the Vikings 24-20. Todd Heap certainly active early in the ball game, but Joe, in the second half, we haven't called his name at all.
Todd Heap, and it's not that the Minnesota Vikings have done that good a job on him. You see him giving a little bit of resistance off the line, getting hammered as he tries to release inside. But there have been times when he's had a free release up the field, and the Ravens haven't found him. I think in this drive, it's critical that you find your playmakers. Todd Heap is the Ravens' playmaker in the passing game.
You would expect a team like the Ravens to feature Jamal Lewis in this situation, though, wouldn't you?
Nope.
Lance Johnstone after Bowler. Mason makes the catch. He'll pick up 10 or 11.
Well, I'll tell you what. This shows me the maturity of Kyle Bowler. On that play, he breaks himself back to the outside. But when he does, watch him square himself around to throw the ball. Here he goes. He's forced out of the pocket. Now watch him turn, and he gets himself square where you can throw the ball to Mason.
And he tried to get the ball to Mason early. Derek Mason, as a veteran, kept on working and got himself in position.
I'll tell you what else I think that shows. It's the confidence in the coaching staff and Kyle Bowler. Lewis somehow turned the corner, but goes out of bounds. Derek Mason, 9 catches for 103 yards tonight, giving him 83 for the season. And in the last 3 years, only Torrey Holt and Chad Johnson have more than Derek Mason. Normally, you don't think of a Derek Mason in that same category.
Not true. You think of Marvin Harrison, somebody like that? He's sure proving it tonight, though.
Lewis again on 2nd and 8. And this will bring up a big third down play again as the clock continues to run.
One thing about Lewis has carried the last 15 times that Jamal Lewis has carried the ball. Up until that run he just picked up 4 yards on, he didn't have one run over 3.
And that one, I believe, officially only 2.
Well, the one before that, he picked up 4, but he lost a couple.
Bowler to the shotgun. Blitz coming. They've been burned when they've done it, and they're burned again. Clayton gets out of bounds. It seems almost every time that they have come after Bowler tonight, he has responded with his best throw.
That time, Mark Clayton beat a heck of a corner, Anton Winfield. He's coming across. They ran a lot of crossing routes. A lot of crossing routes in practice. Kyle Bowler doing an excellent job, but it starts up front with this offensive line. You can't say enough about the job they have done giving Kyle Bowler a chance to be comfortable in the pocket.
And Mulitalo is back in there. He was banged up in the first half. Bowler to throw on first down. Pump fake and deep. And throws it out of bounds as Mason. Now there's a flag down. It's in the secondary. And the indication it's against the Vikings.
Holding.
I love the call.
Holding 55 of the defense. 5 yards. Automatic first down.
Sam Cowart, the guilty party.
I love the aggressive call of Jim Fossil. He's not sitting back just handing it off.
All right, here's Sam Cowart. He's number 55. That's Todd Heap. You can't grab him around by the shoulders and pull him where you want to pull him.
You can bump him within 5.
Oh, yeah, but
tackling
you can't hold him.
Legal.
Well, now you know why Todd Heap really hadn't been open since the first quarter.
Chester Taylor lowers his head, picks up a couple of extra yards, give him 6 on the run. Let's go to Susie.
Well, I want to go back to Mark Clayton because at a time when most rookies are fading, he's rising. Bottom line, he's been a homebody. He knows the value of taking care of his legs, taking care of his body. And he told me that it all clicked for him just a couple of weeks ago. All of a sudden, he could see the game in his head, feel when he'd be open, see the ball coming. And he said since then, he actually